Hi, I'm Keith and I've lived in Houghton Regis all my life. I'm recovering very slowly from the ravages of COVID, and after 4 months I have one of the forms of long COVID. We had followed all the rules and we took no risks because we were over 70 and we accepted that we were vulnerable despite living or being in reasonable health. I hate injections and will avoid them if at all possible, but there seemed sense in having this one, both for myself and for the protection of others. We'd only just had our first jab when our son brought the virus into our home. And needless to say, my wife and I caught it. We expected it to run its course, have maybe a week of being ill and then get back to normality, as had been the case for so many folk, even in our age group. But before my wife and son had recovered, I began to collapse. When I collapsed into a fit, the paramedics were called in. It was during lockdown, so when the paramedics arrived, my wife and son had to leave the room while they attended to me. And even when the medics parcelled me up and put me into the ambulance, they still had to remain distanced and were unable to say goodbye. The most distressing thing in all of this was not being able to say what could have been a last goodbye to the ones I love. As the ambulance pulled away, and for the next 3 days my wife did not know if she'd ever see me again. And for both of us that was unimaginably hard and painful. The first couple of days in hospital were understandably very hazy, as I had all kinds of medications, from drips and tablets and injections. And for a week I was on maximum levels of oxygen. Ward 10 and the Luton Dunstable Hospital were incredible. I cannot praise the staff enough. It was the 4th day before I was able enough to phone home and let them know that there were some positive signs of recovery. And as you can imagine, that was very emotional. Eventually I was allowed home with a supply of oxygen which I continued to rely on for a couple more weeks. I was lucky. The combination of speed at which the paramedics arrived, the provision of suitable medication and oxygen, and the superb care of the NHS meant I pulled through. Thousands have not been so fortunate. Hundreds of thousands have been left to mourn their loved ones, and under restrictions imposed, that mourning has even been made worse. I had no idea how many people cared about me and were affected in some way by my being ill. Their kind words, prayers and support have been so important as I continue to recover from this hateful virus. I don't want any of my friends or family to be put at risk of similar or worse situations. Please don't be put off by scare stories of false information. Even if, like me, you have a fear of needles, the risk you put yourself and your community in demands that you protect in every way possible. Get the jab. We'll all be thankful. Thanks for listening.